video is all about court cases in Phuket Court to get our home back. This is my family, my brothers Luke and Dee.
Hi everyone. Hey, I'm Dee.
And here is our new little sister Katie. Our new mom helps Dad take care of us all now. I explained all about how our family home was stolen in another video, which is linked to above.
Tell them the short story, Ty.
Okay, my dad bought a house and put it in the name of my mom. He protected it with a 30-year lease. That signature was forged on a power of attorney so that an agent working with a moneylender could cancel Dad's lease. Then the moneylender immediately brought the house for a very cheap price on a sale with right of redemption with huge interest charge. He paid little for the house but got most of it back in interest he charged. When the money ran out and Mum could not pay anymore, she ran away and left us. Dad knew nothing about it until Dad received threats that we would be kidnapped or Dad hurt if we did not get out of our home. Within weeks of first finding out, we all had to run away for our lives and away from our home in Phuket. The court knows the whole story.
So after we ran away, Dad sued Mom, the moneylender and the agent in a criminal case. Mom pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 months for stealing the land papers and 6 months for forging Dad's signature with other people to cancel the lease.
Yeah, and we have been 5 years fighting these cases and getting nowhere because of all the cheating and corruption and games the criminals and their lawyers play. These moneylenders steal your stuff and threaten you. They force you out of your home and then abuse the court system against you too.
Dad thought, now the fraud was proven, we would get our home back. In the civil case, the moneylender admitted he knew Dad had the lease. He also admitted he was at the land office with Mom and the agent when the lease was cancelled by fraud, and that he bought the house straight after. No one checked with Dad at all. They say they thought Dad knew.
Even a kid would not believe that. So their defense is that they thought Dad knew and was happy to cancel his lease and sell off the family home and pay the moneylender 3% per month interest. That's about 100,000 baht per month. That is too ridiculous. By the way, 6 weeks later, the same moneylender took the other house Dad was making for us to live in, while Dad improved the house, spending millions. He must have been laughing at that. Of course, Dad was totally unaware. He would not spend money on someone else's property, would he?
Yeah. And the same agent had been working for another moneylender at the time, stealing the assets of Dad's 2 businesses through fraud.
So anyway, back to the case about our home in Phuket. The court decides that Mum had every right to sell our home to the moneylender, even though that lease had been cancelled fraudulently. Also, Dad had no right to sue the moneylender who knew about Dad's lease being cancelled. The court said Dad could have put the house in the name of a business, though Dad's 2 businesses were stolen by fraud as well. This was our home! That case was dismissed. We lost our home. In other words, the lease was worth nothing.
So even though Mom is in prison for what she did, it did not make much difference to the civil case. It was okay, even though the moneylender and the agent knew Dad had the lease. They can't say they didn't know because they could have spoken to Dad and Mom could have translated. These moneylenders are business people with money. They are not exactly stupid. Of course, they never said anything to Dad. because they knew if they did, Dad would stop them and they could not make any money.
Well, that's a great way to get a house for peanuts. You conspire with the moneylender who gives you 30% of what the place is worth, and then get most of his money back in interest. You keep the rest of the money for just 6 months in prison. I am sure there will be lots of people prepared to do that for $1 million baht. We lose our home worth 10 million and spend 5 years of our life in a rented house we can't afford because the moneylender has stolen everything. Having our home stolen, in fact all our assets, was not enough for these people. The moneylender sued Dad back in a criminal case saying Dad knew about the fraud and accepted it. I mean, why would Dad pay some time man he didn't know to cancel his lease when he could appoint Mom for nothing? Phuket Court accepted that case because the moneylender's lawyers lose trickily. Now the court has taken Dad's passport and he can't work and has to go up and down every 8 times every 3 months for a court visa because the immigration has stopped him having the family visa anymore. That is a lot of waste money and time, and Dad has done nothing wrong.
Dad even asked the British embassy to help get his passport back. They said, okay, as long as he promised not to complain if the court decides to put him in prison instead. They have sent a letter to the court now requesting the passport, and we have to see what the court decides. The embassy will not get involved with anything else. I thought the embassies were there to help protect their citizens and raise issues at a diplomatic level when their citizens are cheated or victims of crime, but obviously not.
Civil law is there to enable people to make contracts with each other and have some faith that if one person cheats, the law will make them do what they say. If you are relying on the law to uphold your lease, well, it doesn't seem very secure, does it? If people can cheat and work together to take your lease from you to fraud and get away with it, spite of the law, then something is wrong. Do you think any of this is fair, right, or just? Well, Thai says no. We want our home back. We want our life back. We want justice. We want help. Dad is being treated like a criminal, but have found guilty of nothing and has done nothing wrong. Why is our family being persecuted like this? All because greedy people working together to defraud honest people, disgusting, corrupt lawyer, and rules that punish the innocent. Please like and share my video so other people know about this and can protect themselves. I don't want anyone to go through what we are going through here.
Thank you.
Thank you.